Happy birthday for Friday.
Next up, a subject that lots of us talk about on a daily basis, the weather. And the big question I've been asking recently is when exactly is summer going to start?
When is it going to arrive? Well, one person who might know is Carol Kirkwood, who's been celebrating 75 years of TV forecasting. And just like the weather itself, those forecasts are always changing.
This is what we've got left of this morning's rain.
I've been a weather presenter for the BBC for over 25 years.
Okay, the forecast is a cloudy one.
Weather forecasts can help us decide if we should batten down the hatches or crack out the sun lotion.
A hot and sunny day to come.
They're part of our cultural fabric.
Aha.
The first ever regular TV broadcast weather report began on the BBC 75 years ago. At first, there was no presenter, just a voiceover. But in 1954, the first weather reporters came along.
It's going to be a dull and wet start to the day.
Weather presenters would add details to the charts with a wax crayon. Dots, lines and triangles were all added to help indicate weather events.
We have this very large low pressure area.
Not everyone understood the complex charts, though. One of the presenters wrangling these new symbols was Barbara Edwards, the first female weather presenter on the BBC, who started in 1974.
Northern England, Wales, the more western parts of England, a fairly bright day with some sunshine.
Barbara passed away, but her niece Claire Martin followed in Barbara's footsteps, becoming a weather presenter for Canadian broadcaster CBC.
Barbara essentially was quite a quiet, shy woman. Being in front of the camera was a bit difficult, mainly because everybody was fixated on her looks, her haircut. She said, "We are so much more than the clothes we wear."
Did she inspire you to become a weather forecaster?
I guess she did. I was fascinated by the weather, and Barbara would point out little things about, smelling the wind, and can you smell the rain in the wind? That drew me in. It was a borderline of sort of science and witchcraft that I just loved, and to this day still do.
Barbara hung up her weather maps just before the forecasts underwent dramatic change. The 80s saw advancements in weather maps, symbols and more, brought to us by presenters like Ian McCaskill and John Ketley.
Actually, it's been a really hot and sunny day today.
John became something of a celebrity beyond forecasting.
Thanks very much, love. Lovely.
And featured in a hit novelty song by folk band A Tribe of Toffs. By the 90s, we were far removed from the basic hand-drawn weather maps. And with the turn of the millennium, when I joined the team, state-of-the-art graphics had become the norm. Beyond the studio, we love to get out and about. We regularly see presenters leave the studio and report from anywhere in the country. But this comes with its own problems.
Not quite as hot and humid as it's going to be in the next few days, Charlie and Lou.
Don't turn around.
I was staged by a dog. It's the story of my life.
Now, in a slightly safer, dog-free environment, I'm at the BBC Weather Centre at Broadcasting House in London. And for everything weather-related, this is where the magic happens.
We'll see some rain in parts of Scotland.
I do the early morning slot, and today Matt is on the day shift.
Temperatures up to around 15 degrees. What have you planned?
I've snuck in to watch him rehearsing from the wings.
Have you noticed huge changes?
A lot of things are automated. The forecasts themselves, you actually expect to do a bit more in terms of climate change and the wider impacts it's having on our weather than we've ever done in the past.
Reporting on the weather requires a lot of preparation. Incoming information changes all the time.
When I come in the morning, all my weather maps are all preloaded with things like rain, cloud, and also temperatures, and then I'm good to go.
Although things have been known to go wrong, and sometimes I've had to think on my feet.
It looks like we have a potent area of low pressure coming our way. We're going to block this chart.
It's going to be boiling in town then.
From poorly timed canine arrivals to graphics mishaps, we've seen it all. Things don't always go to plan, but there really isn't ever a dull moment.
I, for one, can't wait to see what shape weather presenting is going to take in the next 75 years.
I love that peek behind the map. Thank you, Carol.